Yeah, welcome. Let's proceed now with our fifth example. We are asked to find to sketch. Okay, for this one, we are asked to sketch the region whose area is represented by the integral. So it is clear here that double integrals is an area because we know that the lower and upper limit forms a boundary of this area, and then it will form a region. Afterwards, so nasa yung next instruction. First is sketch daw kuno. And then it has another instruction. Afterwards, find another iterated integral using the order dy dx. So the first one, we have the order dx dy. Next instruction niya, we need to invert the order or change the orders. So from dx dy, we need to find an integral in the order dy dx in such a way that this also represent the same area or the same region or the same area that will be formed in this sketch, and that it shows that both integrals will yield the same value. So, okay, first, let's try to solve lang sa. Okay, so again, first we can try to solve first the differential equation, and then afterwards we can try to draw. So we have the integral. So again, unahan nato si insides. So the integral of dx from to be evaluated from y squared to 4, that is just equal to integral of 0 to 2. Then we will have the x evaluated from y squared to 4 dy. So that is just equals to, so ito lang siya evaluate. So we have the upper limit that is 4 minus y squared dy. Now to further integrate this one, this becomes 4y minus 1/3 y cubed to be evaluated from 0 to 2. So we have 4 times y, or 4 times 2, minus 1/3 2 cube minus 0. So we have 8 minus 8 over 3, or simply we have a 16 over 3. So this is the area. We have the 16 over 3 square units. Next, we are asked to find the sketch. Now, saan ganito siya pag-sketch? To sketch this one, we try to look at the insides and the outside uh, limits. So our inside limit, sama na to inside limit, that is with respect to x. So we have x is, so our lower limit is y squared, so that is equal to plus greater than or equal to y squared, but less than or equal to 4. Our outside limit, what is our outside limit? Our outside limit, so that is with respect to y, the variable of y sa atong integration. So that is y, so it is greater than or equal to 0, but less than or equal to 2. Okay, so if you notice that is a positive value, so assume na to nga na siya sa first quadrant. Let's try to graph first the limits of the outside integrals. Ano man? Because naka-whole number man sila, so mas dali siya. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So si y, sa outside limit na to, y is equal to 0. So when we say that y is equal to 0, atong first boundary is the x-axis. And then y is equal to 2. So this is our second boundary for the outside limit. How about the inside limit? We have the x is greater than or equal to y squared, but less than or equal to 4. So x is equal to 4. That is this one. When you see x is equal to 4, this one is y is equal to 2. This one, this is our y is equal to 0. Now, how about x is equal to y squared? Now, if you notice x is equal to y squared, that is a parabola. And then it opens to the right. So when x is equal to 0, our y is equal to 0. And since nakita man na ito, nga mao ni siya ang limit ni kuan sa to ang boundary, we have if x is equal to 4, then y is equal to 2. Okay, so that is a parabola here. And the region represented by this formula is this one, the inside. Now, since this is an area, kung saan man nato pagka ibalo, di ba if you remember in when we try to get the area of region bounded by the curves, di ba we have the rectangular strips. You have the vertical and the horizontal. So how about with this one? Is it a vertical strip or a horizontal strip? Is it a vertical or a horizontal strip? Now, to determine if from this integral, ato magigamit is the vertical or horizontal strip, you look at the outermost variable of integration. Ang outermost variable of integration nato is the dy. Therefore, this is a horizontal strip. So, ano naman kayo horizontal? Because the area of that horizontal strip is just equal to x delta y, or if you integrate that, you have the x dy. And then our lower limit is from this point up to this point. And since it moves along the y, we have the 0 to 2. So this is the sketch of this specific region. Okay, next we are asked to find another iterated integral of with the inverted order. Okay, so we have here now this is just the this one. You can see we have the horizontal rectangle, and then if you look at the outermost variable of integration, that defines our type of strip. Now we are asked to find. So number one, we are asked to sketch. It's already fine. Number two, we are asked to find the another integral, another iterated integral, but there is an inversion of order. Yeah, instead of dx dy, we'll be using dy dx. So ato lang sana siya isulat. We have an area is equal to integral. We have the outside limit and the inner limit. And then we have dy and dx. Now, usahan na nato pagka-determine sa lower limit and the upper limit. So, since if you look at the outer integral, the x, di ba? It means that for the inverted or another iterated integral, we'll be using the vertical rectangle. So, sa may limit na to ni outer integral. So, at si outer integral sa itong una tan-awon kay sure man ta. So, si outer integral moves from this point to this point. Because the rectangular strips is vertical, pasabot nag-move siya from left to right. Instead of sa horizontal nga, nag-move siya from uh, down to up. So, from left to right, our outside limit, we have from 0 to this point. That is 4. How about for the y? So if you look at y, our lower limit is this at 0, and our upper limit varies according to this curve. So what is our limit? Our upper limit is equal to y. It's simply y. But we'll not be using y since our x is equal to y squared. Therefore, si y di, ang atong height is equal to square root of x. So for upper limit here is the square root of x. So again, you just integrate first the inside. So we have the integral of, we have the y to be evaluated from 0 to square root of x. Dx to be evaluated from 0 to 4. Then we will have the integral of square root of x dx from 0 to 4. Then from there, kabalong mathemata, we have 2/3 x raised to 3 halves to be evaluated from 0 to 4. So you have 2/3 times 4 raised to 3 halves. Of course, that is already minus 0. And eventually, our result, we just reach 16 over 3. Okay? So for this one, no, we have the sketching. So if mag-sketch ganita, we look at the lower and the upper limits. Now, here we already introduced the inversion of orders. So mo to siya nga si dx, dy, gihimo na tong dy, dx. Therefore, integrate na to siya with respect sa y first. Afterwards, with respect ni x. So, ato lang to siya gibutang first si katong duha na to ka integral nga symbol. And then, yun sa nato pagpangita sa lower and upper limit. So, ato lang sila gibutan na first. So, para mas dali na to tan-awon, di ba? We tried to look the outermost integral, that is the x. So, pasabot that for the area, we need to use a vertical strip, di ba? So, that's why we use the vertical strip with a width of delta x and a height of y. So, unsa may kuan, lower and upper limit ani since this vertical strip moves from left to right. So, klaro kay nga ang ato ang boundary is from 0 to 4. That's why we have the 0 nga lower limit and upper limit nga 4. How about the y? So, while the strip is moving from left to right, ang atong y sa ubos remains constant. That is a 0. That's why our lower limit is 0. And then our y here, that is the height here, also changes with respect to the curve. So we have an equation, x is equal to y squared. Therefore, kani siyang y nga height nato, that is equal to square root of x. So therefore, our upper limit, we have the square root of x. Afterwards, integrate na to si inner first with respect to y, and then we applied the lower and upper limit kasi we got only the square root of x. And then afterwards, we integrate the remaining, apply the lower and upper limit, and finally we still got the same answer. See? So here we can conclude Dayon that what? That the integral, double integral, dx dy from y squared to 4 and then 0 to 2 is just equal to dy dx 0 to square root of x and 0 to 4. So if you notice, no, generally ato ang outside integral is a constant, then we have, and if our outside integral is a constant, it means that generally our answer will be specific, and then we'll have a final answer.